I decided to do a part 2. All right, so hopefully you have watched Solving Systems with Quadrilaterals, part 1, already. And if you already feel like systems is your cup of tea, then you absolutely do not need to watch the rest of this video if you don't feel like it's necessary. But if you would like a little extra practice with setting up systems, here we go. We're going to make this happen. Again, this problem, I think right here, and probably this problem right here are going to be problems you'll want to work through on your own to prepare for your assignment. Okay, so just a reminder that those are two that you are going to get to do on your own. And remember, this one's a rectangle. So when you set this up, I would set angle E equal to 90. Okay, so that 8A plus 2B equals 90. And then set this chunk right here also equal to 90, and then go from there. Okay, so that's a nice way to get the system set up for this particular problem. Over here, I would set up two separate equals 180 relationships with these consecutive angles adding up to 180. And then, of course, the second could be these consecutive angles here on this side of the parallelogram, adding up to 180 as well. And that should help you with getting part of your homework set up correctly and get going on it. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. I'm going to do 2 additional problems here just real quick, and that'll wrap up our kind of video presentations for the week on quadrilaterals. All right, so we're going to try this problem right over here where we're solving for n, and it looks like this is a kite. So a kite happens when you have 2 consecutive sides equal, and it actually looks like they might all be equal, but this has a double hash on it, so we know that these aren't exactly equal to the ones next to it, which makes this kind of a special quadrilateral called a kite. And what happens with a kite are the diagonals meet at a 90-degree angle. So something we know is true for a kite is this diagonal, the value of 2m, that has to be equal to 90 degrees. And this is why it's a system, right? We know that 2 things are going to be true about it. And then also your value of m plus n has to be equal to 90 degrees. Well, this is a pretty quick system to solve because as we divide both sides by 2, we get a value of m that is actually equal to 45 degrees. And then that becomes a very easy value to substitute right in here. So to continue to solve, we are going to have 45 plus n is equal to 90. So this makes it a pretty straightforward problem. We just subtract 45 from both sides, and we get n is equal to 45 as well. Okay. So that was the one of the problems I wanted to do for you. And then let's go ahead and try this one as well. We're solving for both A and B. Again, this is an isosceles trapezoid. So because it is a trapezoid, we know consecutive angles add up to 180. And because it's an isosceles trapezoid, our base angles are equal. So I'm going to just kind of do this problem right over to the side here by our giant smiley face shining down on us. So one of our relationships is we know that 7a is going to be equal to 21b. All right, that's going to be one of our equations. Perfect. The other equation is going to be 7a plus 7a plus 18b is equal to 180 degrees. Okay. So there are a couple of different things you can do. You could solve by elimination. I think this one is going to lend itself nicely to solving with substitution. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 7. And so my smiley face is kind of in the way. Goodbye, smiley face. As I divide by 7, I get an A value that is equal to 3 times B. Okay, so 21 divided by 7. So I'm going to use this information and make a substitution just as soon as I simplify this a little bit further. Okay. So after I make the substitution of 3b into this value of a right here, I end up with 14 times 3b plus 18b equals 180, and then the rest is just going to be some great algebra as we cruise on down the way here. So 42b plus 18b. And when I add these together, I get 60b equals 180, and as you divide, b is then equal to 3. So if b is equal to 3, and a is equal to 3 times the value of b, then we know a must be equal to 9. And you have solved your system. All right, folks, I hope that gives you a little bit more to kind of look at and think about as you work with quadrilaterals and your algebra. All right, have an awesome week, and I will see you soon.